Have you watched this movie? Yeah, well, it's a movie that may not appeal to a lot of people, but you want to hear about. Everybody has a taste of movies, but then you hear the complaint about wanting to watch something different, something to challenge the audience, and sometimes when you are given that, they think it's one of the worst movies they've seen. It's you're shooting yourself in the foot, just like you're asking the city to fix the road, and you complain why you hit in traffic and it's taking so long to get to your destination. You complain get the heck out of my way, fix the road where we're not driving on the road. But anyway, your tax paying money is going into fixing the road. But anyway, you want something different, take the chance. Brad Pitt's Killing Them Softly is a pretty good and slow burn crime film made back in 2012. When I saw this, I actually happened to watch this by myself, unfortunately. And it's a very underrated crime thriller. It's about two down in their luck criminals. Well, yeah, they're criminals who decide to rob a mob card game. And it takes a turn for the worse when the mob decides to hire a hitman played by Brad Pitt to track down these two idiots. I'm not even gonna do that. These idiots and kill them. He also tries to hire James Gandolfini, who's also in this, and may he rest in peace, to help Brad Pitt's character to help him out. And I have to say, hold on, let me put on this my Brad Pitt set. Have you ever killed anyone before? Well, they get a touchy feeling, emotional, not fun, a lot of fuss. They cry, they plead, they beg, they piss themselves, they call for the mothers. Gets embarrassing. I like to kill them softly, from a distance. I'm not close enough for feelings. Don't like feelings. Don't even want to think about it. We need Mickey. What's the problem? Mickey is James Gandolfini. Now, when I first saw this, I was actually kind of surprised how they introduced Brad Pitt's character. You don't get to his character 23 minutes into the movie after the two guys get hired to rob the card game. And really, the movie is mostly about those two goons who really started this whole mess. Brad Pitt, he's on the side. He's there to talk to this guy that kind of sets up the meetings, played by Richard Jenkins, who was also in that same year, starred in the Jack Reacher film, 2012. Oh, what do you know? Both years. He and Brad Pitt have long dialogue about what's going on, what needs to be done, who's going to get paid the money in order to do it, who can help Brad Pitt in order to carry out his objective, and how the bosses are going to be satisfied with this situation. Ray Liotta is also in this. He kind of has a significant role. His character, his character was the one responsible for holding all the card games. His character gets in trouble for having let this card game get robbed. It actually happened a couple of times where one of them he was involved in it. They introduced that early on into the story, where his character basically set up the first time that he actually robbed his own card game. Spoiler alert. So he could get the money. But the second time that it happened, he had nothing to do with it. And the mob is mostly pointing the fingers on him because he was directly responsible looking over those card games. The actors who've robbed the card, who robbed the games, played by Scott Mooney and Ben Mendelsohn, which Ben Mendelsohn has been pretty good the last recent years with film. I think he's a very underrated actor. I think Scott Mooney needs a couple more to really try to get his name out there. He was really good in the 2014 Australian film The Rover, which he didn't have a big role in, which I think the movie really shines on his performance. I think he kind of carries the movie when the scenes that he is in, about learning the consequences of what he's done by robbing the car game. My favorite scenes in this film are the scenes with Richard Jenkins and Brad Pitt discussing how to handle the situations that with the car game. I really think the dialogue on this is spot on, especially those particular scenes. I really like the assassination scene done in slow motion, which is probably one of my favorite action scenes in recent time. And hell yeah, don't forget Brad Pitt's a bad motherfucker in this, so his role in this is one of my favorites. Bam! You badass sucker. And also Sam Shepard, may he rest in peace, has a short scene. He only has one scene in it and doesn't really have any significance. His character is mentioned several times and they don't really go anything with his character, though yet he's mentioned. I really like the direction in this, but again, the movie is slow paced for introducing story, characters, and there are a couple long dialogue sequences, which I don't mind that they were long. It just dwelled more into the characters. It kind of just pushed the story a little bit back, which I thought kind of hurt the movie a little bit. I also thought that I also like how gritty and grounded the film was trying to portray, that the economy is going down under. They also interfere with, they also mention political differences, ideologies about what the character believes in the country and in the United States, with Brad Pitt's character, what he sees, how times are pretty much ruining the United States. I really thought that how they incorporated that was pretty unique. I really like the opening sequences in this film. I really like how the movie ends. I think this film has one of the best endings to any film that I've seen. Pretty badass, a badass one-liner from Brad Pitt. I would recommend this film just to give it a try. It is a slow burner, so it's one of Brad Pitt's, I think, better roles. You have to be a little patient with it. The movie is only like 95 minutes. It's not as graphic. There are some brutal scenes in this, and I think the acting in this is really good. So I recommend that you highly check it out. No, seriously, check this movie out. I think you'll really like it if you are into smaller budgeted crime films. All right.